the chemistry between us is like a 4-tier filter. Having other people that you trust and respect, it just helps drive where that track is going.
A lot of different things that we all have different strengths in that as a collective is bigger than just, making beats and being producer.
We're trying to handle the business part of the music business instead of just making beats and then going home. The way we got into K-pop was we were working with a writer out here. It was the first time we worked with him. And he just out of nowhere asked us, have we ever been to Korea? He ended up introducing us to his manager, who then connected us over to the record label SM Entertainment.
K-pop's a little different on how we would approach our beats. I think for us, we base a lot of what we make based off feeling. Not to say they don't, but theirs is they know exactly what they want. You know what I mean? They're like, yo, we want exactly this at this tempo. It's very, very structured.
To me, at least, the most important part of a song is melody. That's what's cool about K-pop. That's their most important part of the song.
So we kind of build everything around the chord structures, and there are different sections that they have, intro, verse. So we kind of make the song with that and all that stuff in mind.
So we show up to SM, and what they usually do before our sessions, they sit us around and they go, hey, this is what we're kind of looking for the group. So yeah, once we broke from that, Jeremy just ran he ran into the room.
I like to always start with a progression, and it came to me pretty fast. I don't know, when the sound itself inspires you. One of my favorite go-to synths is Synth. It's my favorite VST for anything synth-oriented. When I was creating that, I remember Ray was in the common area, and the doors cracked, and so I just hear "That's dope," and I was like, "All right, cool." So I'm onto something. Yeah. So that's when Ray got up and came in and was looking for a lot of percussion stuff.
With the kick, I was trying to find pockets of you wouldn't obviously go, oh, okay, that the kick's gonna hit at this time.
Right.
So
that's one thing we can always count on is it's not always going to be the most straightforward rhythm with Ray, which is dope.
Me and Charm were in another room working on a different song. I heard what they were working on, so in my mind, there was this loop that I just ran through earlier in the day, and I was like, this loop actually could maybe work for what we're doing. And so went in there and I was like, yo, Germ, pull up this one loop and see if it fits.
Once we had that established, we continued on with the bass. In my opinion, Trillion, the quality of their stuff is incredible.
So everything you've heard so far, you've heard the bass line, the drums mostly, that crazy melody that Germ came up with too. And at this point, my job is like, damn, it's about 80% done. So it needs to fill out a little more. So I added a pad. It really outlines the chords and the feeling that we want it to feel, which is a good time. We didn't want to make it sound darker. Sometimes when you add something, it weighs the song down. And in this case, it just kept the energy up. It kept it moving forward.
So typically we'll start with making the biggest portion of the song, which is the hook. And then we pick and choose what we take out to create the verse sequence. And for instance, the down hook or the second part of the pre-hook, and it's going to filter building into what is going to be the post hook or the actual hook. And Ray added a snap. That's basically just to show you something else is coming. So with that, Ray added those pianos.
When I played it, I remember Jerm just turning around like, yo, that's dope. So I added that, and he's like, how about we layer it with the octave? And that's exactly what you just heard.
With the bridge, because they're such performance and dance oriented, we went halftime and we switched up the whole feel of it. I basically just took the snare loop,
the loop.
and I chopped it. And then I used a different synth and just changed the progression.
It's incredible. Love it, dude.
Thanks again, man. Held it. And then just, had the bass line follow that.
I think the bridge is meant to take you away from the rest of the feeling of the song. And so you're used to hearing, verse pre-hook, verse pre-hook. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh dang, where are we going? We're going somewhere else. This is crazy, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden we're back.
I went back to 90s R&B.
It's just fun, because especially when they're allowing you to do that. It was pretty tough just being in the States, playing music like that, or music that we grew up listening to, and elements that we loved and would love to incorporate, but it wasn't received well.
In the States, it's not always accepted, and aside from artists like, for instance, like Bruno, but even still, that was taking a chance. It would be difficult to hear this song on the radio in the States. It's very musical, and it has a lot of changes, which in the Korean culture, like he's saying, they thrive off of that. They love musicality.
It felt like we were kids again, allowed to play things that we grew up listening to, and now we're allowed to do it. So that's what made that fun. That was the inspiration behind that.